to episode 17 of the CSS course, and this is a CSS and HTML course, and this is the second episode of our CSS part. So, in this episode, I'm going to talk about different kind of selectors. And in the first episode of CSS, we talk about the basic selectors, which is only selecting the elements like paragraph, heading. This is good, but sometimes we want to have a different kind of styling for different paragraph. Like we don't want to have uh, we don't want to let every paragraph inside our website looks like the same. We want to have some changes to it, and the way we do this is using a class selector and ID selector, and I'll talk about each of this in this episode. So the first one we'll talk about is class selector, and in this case, you can see we have two paragraphs. So this is our first paragraph, and this is our second paragraph. And then for the first paragraph, I give it a class name of first paragraph. And then so in this case, you can see how we created the class. So we created class by typing out the class keyword, and then we have a equal sign, and then after the equal sign, we have two quotes. And within these two quotes, we have first paragraph, which is the class name I give it to it. And then for the second class, exactly same thing, but in this case, um, the class name is second paragraph. So by doing this, we give it this two paragraph a different class name, and then we'll need to address the different class name within our style sheets. So let's come up to our style sheet, and then we can see we have the starting for first paragraph, and we have a second starting for second paragraph. And um, the way we address this specific class is by typing out the period. So we type out a period first, and then the next thing we'll do is we'll type out the class name it has. So in this case, first paragraph. So I'll type it out, and then the rest is the same. You have a curly braces, and then inside this you have the styling, and the same for the second paragraph. So right now we can take a quick look. I'll change the color so it's looking different. Okay, so right now you can see two different paragraphs have different styling. So in this case, the upper one, which is the blue text, is our first paragraph, which is the uh, the one that has a styling of color blue. So you can see the text is becoming blue, and then the second paragraph have a color of orange. So as you can see, the color is becoming orange. And I can also have some more specific selector like ID selector. So in this case, the class selector can actually apply to um, a lot of different elements. And what I mean by this is you can have a one styling for first paragraph, and I can also apply it to this. So if I change your class name to first paragraph, you can see both texts become both texts follow the styling for the class of first paragraph. But if you don't want to do this, you want to have a specific styling for a specific part, and you don't want to make it redundant by any accident. The way you can do this is using the ID selector, and this selector ID selector is used pretty commonly um, when you're going to use any JavaScript later on. So the way we create ID selector, in this case, I'll do a little paragraph inside paragraph. So what I want to do is I'll give it a paragraph tag right here, um, another paragraph tag right here, and then I'll put this in. Or actually, yeah, we'll do this. So I have a paragraph tag inside paragraph tag, but in this case, I'll copy a word or a line of text. Like in this case, I'll take this and then put this into the paragraph tag. And then for this paragraph tag, I'm going to give it a ID. So the way we do this is we'll say ID and then equal to quotes, and then we'll have highlights. So I want to highlight this text. So I don't know if I spelled this correctly, but you get my idea. So and then we also need to address this highlights ID. So the way we do this is different than the class. So class will use a period and followed by the class name. But for the ID, we use the pound sign and then followed by the ID name. So in this case, it's highlights. Okay, so right now we successfully address or select this ID, and then we'll also have the same. And then I want to highlight, so as you can imagine, highlight you have some background color. I want to make it yellow. Okay, oh sorry. So yeah, looks something like this, and let's check. So yeah, we have a line of text that's becoming yellow, but it's kind of mistaken because I put an ID and then the rest of it losing the styling. Okay, I'll actually put this outside. So let's do this. Yeah, I'll do this like this, and then you can see this text is getting highlighted. And I can also apply more styling to this. So I want to make it like less yellow. There's a styling called opacity, and then I'll make it like 0.6, so it's not like that yellow. So yeah, it's not like yellow. Right now we'll talk about next thing we're going to talk about is how we can use the external style sheets to style our HTML. So like having put your style sheet all in this in between this style tag can be a choice, but it's not really organized, because if you have a style sheet that's like 1,000 lines of code, and then you combine it also with your HTML text, yeah, it's just not that organized. And the thing is, like, you cannot use this style sheet for every different HTML file you have. If you have the style sheet external one, you can actually link it to your HTML file every time you use it, and you don't have to type it out. So for now, I'll copy this content using the style sheets, and let's just delete this first, and then I'll also delete this whole thing. Okay, so I'll save it for now, and then we can go to our style.css. Also, there's not like a naming convention for the CSS file, but we usually name it style.css. Just kind of a convention. So, but you can name it whatever you want. Just make sure you have .css at the end. So we'll paste in our styling inside this style.css file, and then using this, how we link it is by putting a link tag inside this head tag. So right now we have link, and then you can see the type is style sheets, and then the href, which is the linking, kind of like a website link, linking to your file. And in this case, my file is called style.css, and make sure this is also called style.css, and it looks good. So let's just save this, and then let's take a look on our website. So it looks exactly the same. It doesn't change anything. Everything stays the same. And you can have two different separate files. One is only for styling, one is only for content, and it just looks more organized. So that's all for our front-end development basic class, and I hope you enjoy this whole courses, and thank you for coming for this class.